What a time to be alive in 2025. Hey, it rhymes. Who knew? It's so interesting and so exciting all at the same time right now. There's so much happening in the world that we can't even barely catch all of it looking all over the place. And I mean, just a few things jump out of me personally is they're warning that the axial seamount is due to erupt. That's in America. They're watching the San Andreas and the Yellowstone situation because they're both waking up and possibly could go at any time, monitoring them because they've had over 906 quakes in California alone lately. And then you take into account things like Trump's statement before the election, Christians just have to vote because you never have to vote again. You are correct. We never have to vote again because harpazo, rapture, meeting my Lord in the air and getting out of this clown show that has become Earth. Bill Gates saying things like there's a big one coming in 2025, referring to the next big pandemic, and that's listed to 2025 in the heads. The doomsday clock moved a whole 1 second closer to midnight. That should actually have moved all the way to 7 seconds to midnight. But hey, what do I know? I just read the Bible. I mean, these guys are scientists and experts. So there's that. MBS being the first phone call Donald Trump made as president, and MBS hinges on the peace in the Middle East. And then Netanyahu being the first foreign leader to meet with Donald Trump. And you have Netanyahu and MBS, both essential cogs in the coming peace, normalization, peace and security situation in the Middle East, which will probably be signed up for 7 years. So that's all happening. The two-state solution meetings happening all over the world constantly. Again, Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, being very involved with that in the background. And 80 plus nations all signed on and on board with that. And they're hoping to push that maybe by June or somewhere around there. We'll see how that ties in. So the dividing of God's land also right center forefront. And then NASA screaming all the time about this rock coming and this Tesla roadster coming and this happening and that happening and all these dangers and threats coming from the sky. So that's happening. We've got multiple earthquakes all over the world. We've got storms happening everywhere, which are seemingly unnatural, unheard of, or never been seen in 50 or 100 or more years. Absolutely epic. All blamed on climate change, obviously, at the end of the day, because they do not, on pain of death, want to refer to the Bible and the prophecies of God in any way, because then people might actually start reading the Word of God, change their lives, and turn and receive salvation. And that's the last thing they need as they set up everything in time for their final week that they think is going to be victorious, but we know how the story ends. So again, extremely interesting times, but also very scary. I mean, they're recalling chocolate. How the heck are we supposed to not have chocolate? They're pushing up the price of coffee. That alone is enough to make people run screaming for the hills. I mean, coffee and chocolate are now under threat. I mean, the rest we could manage, but geez, this is insanity. And then people still sleeping and not realizing that we are at the very end of the age of mankind. And here we are still trying to wake them at the very last seconds before the Lord collects us very shortly as he promised. So keep looking up, stay faithful, keep watching, encourage one another, pray for one another, support one another as a loving body should. God bless. Have a great day. Shalom.